Yeah, I mean, that's one of the bigger reasons why I wrote the book, is there's not really, a lot of coming of age stories of black boys and black men. And I'm particular, you'll notice this in the book, I'm particular about distinguishing between black boys and black men because too often there's this grouping, you know, of that we are forced to be men at a time where we should be boys, at a time where we should be teenagers. That is a staple of growing up as a black male in America. There's not a lot of coming of age tales for us, except when it speaks of you know being in the trap or you know participating in some sport or being a rapper. All those things are cool. Being a musician, an athlete, and not necessarily cool to have to be in the streets, but that's the reality for a good portion of us. But the majority of us don't identify with being on the corner, playing a sport professionally or being a professional musician. And so, in the same way, you see those coming of age stories for virtually everyone else. We don't get that, and so that was one of my primary focuses in this project was to both through my story and then incorporating some aspects of the stories of guys that I grew up with or know, talking more about what the actual experience of being just a regular everyday trying to make it, trying to grind, trying to just live life and survive, black male experience. And so, you notice a lot of those a lot of those things within the pages. And what I tried to really communicate was the arc, that comes with that. It's an emotional roller coaster, at least in my experience, where the highs are really high and the lows are incredibly low. And I don't think that necessarily has to do with any sort of medical diagnosis of depression. I think naturally just being a black man in this country and encountering racism on such an astute level and just having to battle the idea of, not being able to be emotional, not being encouraged to talk about how you're feeling, not being encouraged to take care of yourself, basically killing ourselves, whether literally or figuratively with stress and just holding everything in. So that was the principle behind it, trying to really help create something that would help people who don't identify with my affinities uh, or our affinities really understand, or try to get a grasp, or at least through some form of art, see, what their everyday, black male in their life has to encounter and what they've tried to, dealt with and really, try to battle back from on a continuous basis. And I like to hope I did that justice.